And good morning. My name is Lance with Carnivore. Today's Saturday, and this is the Saturday morning meeting. And just pulling up and trying to figure out what's all going on for the day. It's just another beautiful day out here. Temperature right now, right around the freezing mark. So where I want to be. Nothing terrible out there, nothing too cold, nothing too warm. Just a beautiful, beautiful morning out right now. I did take some time this morning. I actually started it last night. I threw some, was it? I can't even think right now. I threw some brown steak. I had it thinly sliced at the butcher shop. That's brown steak through my smoker. So I'm making some jerky right now as we speak. Just looking to get something different. Gonna let it sit on my smoker for 6 to 8 hours or however long it takes to get to the consistency for jerky that I want to see this at. It was cut a little bit thicker than I wanted, but it'll still work for jerky. It's round steak, so it's got 3 different racks of it in there. So right now I've got some racks that have just salt and pepper. I've got one rack with Carnivore Companion steak dust on it. And the third rack has the same seasoning, my same seasoning that I use just for my briskets and stuff. So it's going to be nice to have some smoked jerky instead of having to buy processed stuff that I don't know what's in it. Hey, good morning, Uncle Willie. It's nice to see you here. I always like it when you come on because then I know that my feed to rumble is actually working. I don't have to pull it up on another screen to check that out. Good morning, Terry. How you doing this morning? Out for a quick drive. Awesome. Yeah, I saw that on Rick's morning meeting this morning. Rick, when I was on there with them, Butter Bob is back. I've never actually seen Butter Bob, so I'll have to look him up. Be interesting to see this. Rick said that was one of the first people that he saw on YouTube for the Carnivore Diet. I have to look that up. That's interesting. And for some reason, I've had so much trouble this morning. You see my light's not on. I've been using my phone as my camera for the last couple of months now, or a month and a half, since I got a really nice phone. It does really well. Does a 1080. But today, or after it updated yesterday, it won't stay on and connected to my laptop to use as a camera or webcam. So if I turn this on like this, that's its lowest setting. It's just not worth having it on. I don't have my camera on like I normally do. Good morning. How are you today? You need to make jerky. Haven't made it in almost 2 years. Making your own jerky is actually it's a game changer for me. You can do it with so many different things. I've actually got pork tenderloin in my freezer right over there that I want to take out and slice it myself. And you can put it on there and you can smoke it. And it is so good. The pork tenderloin, and if you do it really thin, you can almost make it like a chip, which is really cool. Hey, good morning, Aaron. Oh, you did a weigh-in video today? I did not see that this morning. No, And I was actually just looking at your channel this morning too. I did not see it. I saw your one from yesterday where you weren't enjoying your sardines anymore. So don't tell me what your weight is. I want to see it. That'd be awesome. Hey, Carrie Hancock, how are you this morning? It's nice to see you here. Yeah. So, user, what is your actual name? This is just a generic name, user. How are you doing today? Are you actually doing a carnivore diet or a ketogenic style diet, or are you just channel surfing live videos, live streams today, and chatting with people? I don't mind either way. Oh, it's just a quick short, Aaron. Yeah, I was doing stuff on here. I've actually set this live stream up 3 different times because my phone kept getting dropped as using it as a webcam on my computer. It updated last night, and since it's updated, I can't get it to stay on. I did an earlier video that I recorded. I haven't done any editing to it yet, or haven't published it yet, but they'll be coming out probably tomorrow. And it worked fine for that. But if I have it on for any more than like 20 minutes, my camera gets dropped. And while I was trying to set this up for the last hour, it kept dropping on me, and I don't know why. But it's time for some coffee. Oh, the last couple of morning meetings that I've done like this here, and my coffee's gotten cold. I decided to use my warming coffee mug there so that it stays good. I went out. Some of you know last summer I've posted this year before. I picked up this Austin XL Pit Boss grill from Walmart, and this is an amazing grill. I really like this grill. You can do so much on it. The only thing I wish it had was a full second rack. It doesn't. It just has the one rack on the bottom, right above the fire pot, and then it's got that warming quarter rack. If this had a full second rack in it, this would be a spectacular grill. Now, I went and bought an attachment that goes on this now. So on the end where the smokestack is and that tray or the shelf is, it's going to be replaced with this. That is a side attachment, and it's just a smoker. There's no heat in here except for what comes through the exhaust and into this here. So all the smoke will go through that. That'll be added to this grill here probably later today. I'm gonna have to go out there. It's actually pretty nice out today, so I'll be able to go outside and work on it outside and not freeze. And like I was saying earlier, right now I've got 3 of these racks. This isn't the picture of it, but I have this grill out right now. I have 3 racks of I have round roast, thinly sliced, 3 racks of it roasting with actually dehydrating it and smoking at the same time. And I can't wait. 5-day sardine fast. However, yesterday you ate 1 can of mackerel. Yep, I saw that mackerel, and that's actually not a bad thing to do. I've heard several people that have talked about using the mackerel. It's got about the same nutrient profile as the sardines, so it's actually not that bad. And if it has a taste that you can tolerate better than sardines, why not do it? I just finished my sardine fast Friday. I did it Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Well, I was able to eat again on Friday morning. So I just did a 72-hour sardine fast. Well, speaking of which, I never ended my fast on my app. If I don't remember what the heck I'm doing, sometimes I forget to adjust it. But I did complete that. It's just a 72-hour sardine fast. I gotta update the end Friday the 13th. And that's the other thing I didn't realize either, is that yesterday was actually Friday the 13th. So nailed this right at 72 hours. And now I'm going to fast for a little bit. I was going to do the water fast with Larry Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I decided not to. I need to eat. I did that 7-day fast, 2-day refeed, and then into a sardine fast. I think it was just too much for my body right now. So yeah, the mackerel is much better tasting. Yeah, I can't say I've ever had canned mackerel. I might have to go out and find some of that and see how it is. And Terry says she is pulled over now. Okay. You pulled over or got pulled over, Terry? Oh, Uncle Willie, you said you tried to water fast yesterday and your body said no. That will happen. How did you, just curious, how did you come up with the body you said no? What happened that you weren't able to do a water fast? And how long did you end up going? Terry, you're on sardines again today. Hey, what kind of sardines are you using? Costco had a really good deal in January when my wife and I went on sardines, where the 6-pack of the Wild Planet and extra virgin olive oil sardines were like $6.50 for 6 cans. So they're just over $1 a can. And when we went, my wife and I went, I only picked up one. And I don't know why I only picked up one. That was kind of a down move. But my daughter and her husband went right after that, and I had to pick up 4 more. So I had plenty to do on my sardine fast. So right before I did this live stream, I'm drinking hot coffee. And right before I started this live stream, I was outside setting up my smoker with the roast in there to dehydrate into jerky. And it's 32 or 33 degrees outside right now. So my nose is starting to run again because of the temperature variance and moisture and all that, good kind of stuff. And it's like every time I do one of these live streams, do something stupid, I end up having to wipe my nose while I'm doing the live stream. Oh, let's see. No, you pulled over. Yeah, I just had to check because you never know. Seasoned skinless and boneless sardines. What do you know what the brand is, Terry? But actually, when I did my first sardine fast, I did the it was a chicken of the sea and bumblebee. The chicken of the sea, bumblebee. It wasn't either one of those. I can never remember what the name was. Beach Cliff. I did the Beach Cliff sardines, and see this and my spreadsheet that I have for my ketones and stuff. It's on my other computer that I don't have set up right now, and I didn't email my spreadsheet to myself. And my ketones and my blood sugars didn't drop like I had thought they would, in how I've seen other information with people showing how it changes. And it may be because of the way I fast and the extended fast I've done, and just my body, just the way everything was working out for this year. My ketones didn't drop until I was about 48 hours or more into it. So I think it was 60 hours is actually when my ketones dropped to where I thought they should have been at, 48 or even at 24. But just my last 2 Or well, it's the last two readings for my ketones were in the zone that I expected it to be the whole time. Do you ever track your ketones or blood sugars while you're doing your sardine fast, Darren or Terry? Uncle Willie says he got hungry and it was persistent over a couple hours. I could have forced it, but sleep would have been difficult. That is true. It is hard to sleep when you do feel hungry. Um, this is actually one of the things that I'm trying. And then I think I just got rid of it. I've tried ketone IQ, and it was actually pretty insignificant for non-fasting ketone. It didn't make my ketones go up. It didn't give me like a boost of energy, but it kept me more clear and it helped with my hunger when I was doing the intermittent fasting. So that might be something that you can look into. Say they do have exogenous ketones that you can get, and that does help with the hunger, and it'll help to build ketones, and that helps to relieve the hunger. Aaron, yeah, your CGM is reading between 60 and 80. And seeing my CGM when I first 48 to 60 hours of my fast, my blood sugars were over 100. And I know the CGM, each one of them is different, but even when I was checking my actual blood with my Keto Mojo, it was reading pretty close to what my CGM was saying. It was just weird. And then all of a sudden that, the last 12 hours of my sardine fast, then everything dropped like I thought it would have to begin with, and made a big difference. Oh, Season is the brand got from Costco in PA. Has a picture of a woman by the sea in the label. Okay, I get you. Hey, Jeff, how are you doing this morning? It's nice to see you here. Before adding a little heavy whipping cream and coffee, even in the 50s. And I haven't had that when I've done a sardine fast here. And my sardine fast, even the one I did back in December, my ketones and blood sugars never reacted that well. Terry says she did track a few times, but don't anymore. My ketones are very slow. But you focus on your blood glucose, yeah. And if your glucose is up, the ketones aren't going to be there. And so, like, I know when my blood glucose drops into the low 90s, my ketones are starting to come up, and they drop into the 80s. They're getting higher. And like Aaron, when mine get down into my glucose gets into the 50s, my ketones are generally 4 to 5 or higher. And that's just been, I know this from tracking it from before. A few days goes 1.8 ketones. Yeah. And I think the highest I got my ketone in that sardine fast. See, normally I can't look at this here when I'm doing a meeting because I use this phone as my let's see. Yeah, my highest ketone on my sardine fast was 2.0. And that was in Thursday evening. Yeah, and see, and the other days, it was at 0.9, 0.8, 0.7, and then it all of a sudden jumped from 0.7 to 1.8, and then 2.0, and then the next morning I was at 1.5 right before the end of my fast for my ketones, which is actually pretty good. And you have BHB powder, beta hydroxybutyrate powder. You could use it, but choose food instead. You could. That's one of the things that Dr. Boz talks about. Um, she has a BHB powder too. It's a BHB salt, and but that helps with the cravings. And if you get your beta hydroxybutyrate, which are your ketones, up, that helps to alleviate the hunger. And I'm actually going to try it here, the ketone IQ shot, to see how it does with my hunger. Well, I'm going to do some intermittent fasting this coming week. So I'll be eating just one meal a day, going 23 hours in between eating. And I'm going to try the ketone IQ. I'll have one with me in my work bag. So when I get that feeling of being hungry, I'll be able to take that ketone IQ, see if it helps to reduce my hunger signals. And then I'll track when I take the ketone IQ, and then before I eat, I'll track my ketones to see what change it had in it at all, if it had any. Because one of the advertisements on their packaging is if you don't feel a difference, then it's free. So, how does the audience handle boredom, especially in the evenings? It's crazy how food just came to mind. Absolutely, and that's one of the things that I have trouble with on the weekends, and that's why my 7-day fast I started on a Friday, because trying to push the end of a fast through a weekend for me has been extremely difficult. And it's the food noise from the boredom, from the slower routine. I myself, if I find that, I have to find something to do to keep busy. One of the things I do is I come in my office here and I'll go through YouTube. I'll watch YouTube videos. And a lot of stuff I watch. I don't watch just carnivore stuff. One of my favorite houses here for dealing with boredom and trying to avoid food. I watch Beard Meets Food eating challenges. Katrina Eats Kilos, Randy Sartell. I watch those guys, and that helps me not eat. Especially if you've watched Randy at all. I've watched Randy for years now. He's gotten pretty big from all the food that he's been eating like that. He's going to have to start watching, because it's going to start affecting his health with everything that he's eating. It probably already has. Sorry for the noise, but my coffee's extremely hot. But it's delicious. So, how's anybody else doing with their food noise on the weekends, with boredom, or even in the evenings? What do you guys do for it? How does anybody? What do you do to handle it? I don't know. One of the other things that I do is my wife and I, we have pork rinds, so we can snack on pork rinds. I'll put Frank's Red Hot on my pork rinds because I like pork rinds with the hot sauce. My wife has found recently that cottage cheese, the 4% fat cottage cheese, she does really well on. And I found that I can actually tolerate it, so I can eat it. But the Carnivore Companion steak dust seasoning mixed in with the cottage cheese, and that used as a dip for pork rinds. My wife has found that she absolutely loves that. Hey, good morning, Bride's Biscuits. How are you doing today? It's nice to see you in here. I saw you over in Rick's chat, and I was in a live last night. I saw you were in there too. Bride's Biscuits, my relationship with food changed so much over the past year and a half on carnivore. It's hard to describe. I don't ever look at food or think about it the same way. I suppose that's how I feel. Absolutely. And if you can change your relationship with food, that is really a game changer right there. People, so many of us, and I used to be the same way, food was entertainment. And you go to a restaurant, it's an entertainment thing and it's a presentation thing and everything. And it makes it hard when you do that. Now it doesn't have to be something that looks pretty. Here, look at this. This is one of my meals. It's just shrimp and ground beef. And if you look at those ground beef patties, you see the stuff on the sides because I throw them in the oven and I bake them. So the myoglobin that comes out gets stuck on the sides. I don't care. It's not about the presentation. It's no longer entertainment for me. It's nutrition. And that's what I use my food for. And that's what Brad basically is saying here. His relationship to the food has changed so much. It doesn't bother him. And that's how he's been able to do this is by changing that relationship with the food. Uncle Willie, yeah, pork rinds for snacks. Pork rinds are amazing, and I can't remember what the brand was. There's a Canadian company that does pork rinds, and they are absolutely delicious. But you have to put them in the air fryer yourself and make them pop. So, where is this at? Okay, and they're really good. I really enjoy them. They're expensive though for what you're getting. But and actually, the Walmart, the Great Value brand of pork rinds, are some of the cleanest and best flavor tasting pork rinds I've had out there. And Aaron, you play a video game to alleviate the food noise, and I can't do that. I get motion sick watching people play video games or even trying to play myself. I can't do video games. Just doesn't work for me. But there's a lot of people who can, and if it's something you can do, then why not? Or even playing a game on your phone. My wife does the word search game and stuff like that on her phone or on her tablet. Bridesmaid says, I guess my crutch of anything is coffee. It's my go-to when I'm bored. Otherwise, I'm always doing something else throughout the day as opposed to standing over the fridge. Absolutely. And that makes a big difference there too. I do have my coffee right here. So, yeah, I can take my mic up. It mutes it so that you don't have to hear me slurping my coffee. And I just remembered I could do that. But every time I do it, I have my glasses out of. It's just one of those weird things, I guess. Brian says that I can eat shrimp and hamburger patties 75% of the time if need be. You always enjoy eating both enough to curb any hunger. Food noise never intrudes enough this way. And I know my hormones are my own. That is amazing. It's awesome that you can do that. And so many people can't eat the same foods like 75% of the time. They have to have that variety. And that's where some people have this issue. Terry says she can't do video games either. You read a book or and you start falling asleep. Yeah, the books are doing that to me. Hey, I did get a new book in this week, and I started going through it. Dr. Barry's Common Sense Labs. He's got so much good information out there, and he's got a few books out that really have a ton of great information. And coffee does too, and if coffee has a natural appetite suppressant, and it does help with it. So if you're having trouble and you are still a coffee drinker on Carnivore, there's nothing wrong with having a cup of coffee. A lot of people still do it, and like Aaron, you put some heavy cream in it. It's as long as you're not getting the lattes from Starbucks, the heavy cream it's not going to really bother you. But when you're drinking 1,500 calories or 1,000 calories of cream with a dash of coffee, that's when you have trouble with it, and that's where you can get into a lot of trouble. Drinking water with electrolytes help, or coffee. Yep. And so much of it is mind over matter, recognizing what a lot of people don't recognize is thirst and hunger are about the same signal to the body. You have to pay attention to what it is. And like when I'm fasting, I know that first part of the fast, the first 48 hours, are generally for me the hardest. And a lot of times, the signal that I'm thinking I'm hungry is actually I just need to drink more water. And once I do that, that signal goes away, and I can push on with it. So, but going back to the boredom part, that's where I always have trouble on the weekends. It's like this morning I wasn't going to eat, but I made my wife breakfast. So, of course, what I had to do, I snacked on the bacon because it was there. And Bradford says he grew up watching cooking shows like Julia Child. Later became a foodie, always cooking and buying new cookware, gadgets. These days, I love simplicity. Cooking is 1% of what it used to be. Yeah, and it is a lot easier now as a carnivore. It's tremendously easier. It's, I had a cast iron sitting on my stove that I used to cook with it. It's pretty simple to do it. Love cooking on cast iron. And here it says I used to drink some coffee with cream. Now you control it. So it's a little cream. Yeah, I used to drink some coffee with my cream. That's where people get in trouble with it. Now Aaron is in control of it. So he has a little cream with his coffee. And that is the part that people have a hard time understanding and a hard time controlling. I have heavy whipping cream here, or heavy cream. We use that to make carnivore ice cream. And with that, I can use that for my coffee. My milk frother, it's one of the, that's a game changer right there, is having the milk frother. Oh my goodness, it has so many good uses. And when we make our element, my wife and I use the milk frother to mix the element in water to get it nice and uniform. Uh, Mixing it, and then we add ice and all that stuff. I use it this morning. I poured some heavy cream into my coffee cup, and I use that milk frother to froth it up. Basically, made a whipped cream just from heavy cream and nothing else. It's actually really good. Uncle Willie said I tried some heavy cream last night and got a massive headache. What kind of heavy cream, Uncle Willie? They have a nasty ingredient in a lot of these heavy creams. It's carrageenan. I think so. You say it's a long C word. It is a nasty ingredient, and that's one of the things that people find cause issues. For my wife and I, when we buy the heavy cream, there's two heavy creams that we buy. One of them we can only find at Walmart. And it has no carrageenan in it, and the other is a raw heavy cream. And that's from a local place here that we can get it. If we get any of it with the carrageenan in it, we both have issues with it. So it's always good to look at the label and see if it has that ingredient or not. And Aaron says, I find it can. You can drink flavored K cups without cream. They don't impact your numbers. Yeah. I used to have actually, I still do. I have a Keurig. I actually have two. They're out in my garage. I don't drink that much coffee anymore. I used to drink a pot of coffee every day, bring it to work. And I don't drink all that much anymore. All things relative. Absolutely. That's what we're here for. Sharing our experience and experience one day at a time, helping one person at a time, Terry. That's the most important thing I feel that I can do for what's happened to me in the past year and a half on this way of eating, it has brought so many tremendous benefits to me. And one of the things that I want to do is I want to help anybody else who's doing it, or anybody that's even looking at doing it, because it's been so profound for me for my healing. Coming back to that, I had a meeting yesterday with, it was supposed to be with my boss and then his boss. And we were supposed to have a meeting yesterday. Well, my boss was out for the day, so it was just me and his boss. I haven't actually seen him one-on-one for well over a year. I just don't ever talk to the guy that much in person. And he came over to my office, and there was another guy that came with him, and I've seen him quite a few times here recently. So I talked with him for just a second, and I went to shake my boss's hand, and he looks at me and says, "Holy, you have lost a lot of weight." I said, "Yeah, from last time I saw you, I've probably lost 140 pounds." And we sat and talked about nutrition and stuff like that for the next 20 minutes. And this was a meeting I was nervous about because so much stuff has happened at work in the last couple of weeks, and we've had so many issues. But I think just the way that whole scenario and everything worked out like that, it changed the whole mood of the meeting. And it actually turned out to be a really great meeting with him. I was worried for nothing, but that is how it goes. Bride's Visa says, "I have so much more time today to spend with the kids." Yep, absolutely. Watch health podcasts, engage in lives, read books, play guitar, go on walks. I make it a point of being still these days just to reflect and pray. That would be from the burst of energy that you constantly have now, right? Rice Biscuit, the lack of pain and all the energy that you have to get rid of because you're not poisoning your body with all the junk that we used to do. It's amazing what happens. And yeah, sometimes people have to make a point to stop so they can reflect and they can give thanks for what is going on. You got some chocolate elements, so we'll try sip on that at night. The chocolate element, I personally don't like the chocolate element. The chocolate caramel element, that is a different story. I do like the chocolate caramel element. We bought a box of each, the chocolate and the chocolate caramel. It was back in December. And we only used a couple of each of them. But the chocolate ones, I don't care for. To me, I don't like the taste of it. That chocolate caramel, I can mix that with my coffee, or I can just drink it hot. I've actually brought the hot one to a hockey game so I can have it to drink. And I drink, so I'm not so cold. I had a different thickener, wasn't the Caribbean? Yeah. And those thickeners, if you can find the one that we get at Walmart, it's an organic one, and it's just cream. There's nothing else in it. Bryce Biscuit, almost forgot, ate a couple of dates yesterday that my daughter bought. First cheat in almost a year. Wicked leg cramps woke me up this morning. The funny thing is, you fully expected it. Yeah. And there's some. Now, there was that possibility that you would have had no reaction to it. And that's part of what this diet does as an elimination diet. If somebody's looking to find out what is causing them health issues, do the carnivore diet for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. And then introduce one food at a time, one food. Wait a couple of days. You're going to know fairly quick whether that food affects you or not. An example is we bought some taco seasoning that we got at Costco. After being on a carnivore diet, and I had been on it for over 30 days, I tried this taco seasoning. I've had this taco not that specific one, but I've had taco seasoning before while on the carnivore diet and use a cottage cheese wrap, which are really good as a taco. Well, my wife made tacos and I tried that, and the next day I felt like I got run over by a truck. Whatever was in that seasoning, something in it affected me. So I can't have that seasoning anymore, and I won't have it. Uh, my wife and my son, for his birthday this last year, we went out to a restaurant. I ordered their triple bacon cheeseburger, no bun, no sides, none of that. So it's just a cheeseburger with bacon. I felt like I got run over by a Mack truck the next day because there's something in either the seed oil that they're cooking in it or they're cutting their ground beef with ingredients that aren't good for you. And I felt it the next day. It actually took me like 3 days to get over that. I think it was the seed oil that they were cooking in, or maybe a combination of both. You'll find out really quick what is affecting you and how it affects you doing this diet. It's a great way to eliminate and find out what's going on with your body. Bryce Vizell says, I haven't quite processed yet all the healing you've experienced physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. That's why I've decided to step back from challenges for February. Yeah, so you do have to reflect, and sometimes challenges are good to keep you busy, to keep you off of thinking about cheating and stuff like that. But sometimes not everybody needs them. So there's nothing wrong with stepping back and just enjoying life. I know there are always, I know I'm doing no N1 challenges, and you get directing that energy into new healing therapies, and it's exciting, and it is, and that's one of the reasons why I like doing my fasting. Is there's every time I fast, I feel something else, and I heal something else. This last fast, that 7-day fast, and then that was I followed that. Okay, I was doing the rolling fast, and I followed that with a 7-day fast. Between the rolling fast and that 7-day fast, this nasty flu cold virus that's going around, it has hit everybody in my family except for me. I sleep in the same room with my wife. She's had it. I didn't. I've got grandkids that are around all the time, and my son and his girlfriend are around all the time, and they've all had it. It skipped me. Now, is that because I'm eating a carnivore diet, or is that because I was doing the rolling fast and the extended fast, and my immunity has been reset over and over? I don't know. But it seems to be working for me. This is the longest I've gone without having a severe cold or flu since I can remember. February of last year, I had the flu. And it was like the first week of February last year, I had the flu. So I've been over a year. It's been over 365 days since I've had a cold or flu or anything. And I feel tremendously healthy still. It was Horizon Organic Heavy Cream from Walmart. Uses gelling gum as a thickener. Well, maybe that's the, maybe you'll have an issue with the gelling. I don't know, maybe that's the cream that we use. I don't know. I'll have to go look at that after I'm done with this. I didn't think the stuff that we were using had a thickener in it. But my wife and I don't have an issue with this one. We're that Caribbean, we both have issues with that. And we can feel it. It leaves a really weird taste in our mouth when we're making the ice cream. It's just, it's not good. But this, it might be this Horizon Organic. we don't have issues with it, and then we don't have that weird. It's like a slimy taste in your mouth when you're eating ice cream that has that carrageenan in it. It's just gross. Ah, that's so much nicer to be 45 minutes into a live stream and my coffee is still hot and it's sitting on that warmer. It's actually an amazing coffee cup. Just sits on a warmer, and then that warmer charges or can be used as a charger for phones and stuff too. Bride Spaces, I use half and half. Almost always just milk and cream. Less than half price, only about 5 gram more carbs per serving. Yeah, and I I personally think that carbs from the dairy, carbs from eggs are treated different in your body than carbs from sugar. The sugar carbs are, like actual sugars, and then the carbohydrates in the dairy and stuff like that. I do believe they are treated differently by your body. I don't think they're an equal value. Cooley says great value has the carrageenan, yeah, and so many of the store brands do. Right, and there's no Gillingar or carrageenan in the half and half. I get that. I could feel it down. I didn't know if it was an eyelash or if it was here from my Dalmatian. Right before the live stream, she was all up in my face. My wife and granddaughter came in here for a few minutes right before I went live, and that Dalmatian had to jump in and say hi. She's just a crazy dog. Willie says you have a slight headache. You think I'm done with liquid dairy? Yeah. If that's if it is doing that, I would be too. I wouldn't be having any more of it. That was giving me a headache, and that's one of the things that I've learned over the past 17 months, almost 18 months now that I've been doing this way of eating. If something affects me, I don't eat it anymore. There's no reason to if it affects you. You don't have any detectable yet sensitivities to dairy. You will do an N-of-1 experiment to see if it affects your Hashimoto's antibodies. You should watch Jenny Medich's video on this rice biscuits. She has Hashimoto's, and she did her N-of-1 experiment with it, where she had her Hashimoto's antibody tested, and then she used raw creams, raw milks, raw everything. And at the end of it, and it was like a 2-week period that she was doing this, or 10-day period, I don't remember what it was. She had her antibodies tested again, and her actual antibodies went down while trying the raw versions of all this. And she actually did really good on it all. So maybe check out her video and see what happens with that. You can't even get raw milk. So many places aren't allowing it, but you can if you want to pay the price for it. Miller's Biofarms, which I have no affiliation with, I just remember the name so much because so many people talk about it. They sell raw dairy online from a state that they're not allowed to sell raw products to humans, but they market it as for pets. So you can buy raw dairy for your dog or your cat, and then you can use it. You are a rare asymptomatic Hashimoto sufferer, and that's unfortunate. Well, it's unfortunate you have anything to do with Hashimoto's to begin with, because that's such a nasty thing to have. It really is. There's so many things that just affects so much. Jenny has very low antibodies and very severe symptoms, and you're just the opposite. Okay. But it'd still be interesting to see if you, because you can go to Own Your Own Labs and do the same testing that she's doing. She has, I believe she has that up there on her so that you can do that kind of stuff. So you'd be able to see exactly what's affecting you and how it affects you. I was to put that out a few weeks ago too, that she was doing that with Own Your Own Labs where she was setting up her own kind of experiments that she was doing. So I really wish we had one of those here where we could get testing here in my little spot in North Dakota. The closest place for Own Your Own Labs for a blood draw for me is a 400-mile drive. And the closest Quest diagnostic lab for me is 500 miles. It's not easy for me to do that kind of stuff here in North Dakota. I was in, on the border down by, the other end of the state, it might be a little bit easier, but it's not that easy to do. But maybe one of these days somebody will do that. I know we do have a clinic that's starting to offer some self-testing options, but the stuff that they're offering for self-testing still doesn't even come close to what I want to see. Unless it contributed to your depression, you would never have known you had Hashimoto's without the panel test. Yes, I'll test on elimination for antibodies at some point. And that's good to do. And the tests aren't that much. If you're close enough where you can do the Own Your Own Labs or Quest Diagnostic, where you can get your tests, and you can do it yourself. You don't need a doctor to do them. Pick up Dr. Barry's book. It talks about the Hashimoto's and all that stuff in there too. It's actually a really good book. So yeah, they'll stop it at the border. Oh, the raw milk. Yeah. Oh, you're in Canada, Terry. Yeah, Canadian. I speak Canadian, eh? Oh, I love that. I grew up here in North Dakota, up in northern North Dakota in a park. And throughout our childhood, we had always had Canadians coming down. And as a teen, I'd harass the Canadians when we were messing around with them and making friends over the weekends. For those, it's like, for those who don't live around the Canadian border, they don't understand how much Canadians say "a," and it's just what it is. It's like Norwegians saying "ufta" and "ja sure." Some people do, some of them don't. But I used to mess with the Canadian kids when I was a kid, and they'd say, "How you doing, A?" And I go B, C, D, and they'd look at me straight. I'm like, "You get the first letter down, I'll teach you the rest of the alphabet." Oh, it was always fun to do. All right, Aaron, we'll see you over at Larry's. I'll be over there I'm going to pop in and say hi, but I do have to go to the butcher shop and get some more meat. I want to throw some on my other smoker today. I'm going to throw some meat on this one here and make some steaks for my wife and I. And I also have meat on this one here, dehydrating. It's going to be a great day. Rice biscuits, you would find it weird if dairy increased your antibodies with no other symptoms like skin, digestion, mental, or consumption that so many experience. Well, Jenny has issues with pasteurized dairy, where the raw dairy had the exact opposite effect on it. Actually decreased her Hashimoto's antibodies so that they weren't elevated. Yeah, but don't get you started. Well, which province, Terry? Are you in Alberta or Saskatchewan? I can say Saskatchewan. I've lived in this area long enough, and that's actually where I work with a lot of people from Saskatchewan up in Regina, in fact. So I I like watching Larry when he's trying to pronounce Saskatchewan or Saskatoon. It's another fun one to watch him try to say. CQ doing a meeting today? I thought Larry was. I don't know. I never even looked this morning to see if he had a. Oh yeah, he shows that he's live right now. So Larry is live, and let's see. Yeah, Jenny has Hashimoto's symptoms, so she does. Let's see. What's Larry mean? Larry. Okay, Carrie Hancock. It's Larry from Carnivore Quest, and I'm putting a link in the chat right now. Larry, Cassie, his wife, started the Carnivore Quest channel years ago when they went on to their carnivore diet. Was a year and a half ago, right about the time I started my carnivore diet. They were celebrating their success on their anniversary, and they had a non-carnivore meal, and they both slipped and fallen and gone off plan and gained weight back. And now Larry is trying to overcome all that. He started doing morning meetings back in it's like June or July every day for accountability. And it's been a great support for a great number of people. So he started doing his meetings on weekends, starting at 10:55 my time, 11:55 his time, right before lunchtime. So he called it a morning meeting, but that's what he does. And it's Larry Carnivore Quest, and it's started now. And that's usually after I get done with this meeting. I'll go over to the Carnivore Quest and I'll hang out there with Larry and a lot of the people that are in this morning meeting that I'm in. Terry, Bride's Biscuit, Uncle Willie, Aaron, go to it. And it's really a nice place to be. There's a lot of support, a lot of knowledgeable people there. Highly recommend going in there and being part of the community, saying hi to Larry and talking to all the great people in this group. You wish you're in Newfoundland, isolated. Yeah. See, Newfoundland, what a place. Now, I have a German Shepherd Newfoundland Husky dog. They call him a Jernewski. Man, is he awesome. So, Larry, look right, but Larry is a great accountability resource for all who struggle in a lean community. And for any success in carnivore, I think you need community. That's one of the biggest things that helped me. My wife's brother passed away in June, actually, in June. Yeah, in June, and then we ended up having to go to California and stuff. It was extremely stressful. That's when I was starting to watch Larry on a regular basis in his morning meetings, and that all helped me tremendously to get over and to help deal with the stress and anxiety that was going on with this. Now you're going to head over to the morning meeting. We'll see you over there. Yes, sir. Same with Rise Business got a dip. Peace out and have a great one. So, Carrie, head over there, introduce yourself, tell them good morning, and have a great day. So it goes with everybody today. It is that time. I'll be back here tomorrow at 10 a.m. Central Time. Hey, those of you on How you doing? It was nice to see you guys here today. Throw some comments in here at times. I know you guys can do it. We'll talk to you later.